the product was ready, the chain was ready, but the bear market hit. The question you're asking is, when do we go out and tell people to come use this? Yeah, so we're going to be always open for feedback. We're always going to be trying to learn, trying to incrementally change this. Berto actually sent the cat picture to Jay. I'll be asking the questions to the community. Are you comfortable using this?
Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Claudio and this is Chain, and joining me today is Sam Elamin from Imbue Network. He's a big fan of this show now because he's been on here quite a few times. He's spoken about different topics, not only about Imbue Network, but as promised, I have brought him on to talk about Imbue Network now because he has something interesting to share, a finalized product, because this is what we want to see, right? We want to see the action. We want to see the real deal where people can start generating something, right, or doing something within the ecosystem. So Sam, thank you for joining. And if you want to tell people maybe what Imbue Network is, just summarize it for those who don't know.
Yeah, so really Imbue was a community. First of all, hey Claudio. Thank you so much for having me on again and again. So really Imbue is a community-driven initiative, right? A lot of us felt a lot of pain doing the bull market because so many projects were launching and over-promising. And then we said, you know what? The blockchain's great at telling us when something happens. Trustlessly, let's ensure that these people who are promising us things put their promises on the chain. And this is what we're going to achieve. And then we used the blockchain to validate those promises by putting milestones attaching to them. So actually give monetary value to these promises they're making, right? So we went to the community and said, we're not going to get any funding. We are building this as engineers in an open source manner. And then when we build something, you tell us if this thing has value, and then we'll go to Kusama. Then we'll go to go down the funding route. Then we'll think about going to the common good approach. We didn't go towards common good initially because we didn't even know what we're going to build will have value. But our goal was always to become like a common good chain because this isn't really for profit. Anyways, we launched this crowdfunding platform with milestones, and the product was ready, the chain was ready, but the bear market hit. And then the core users of a launching platform are people who are launching new things, and obviously no one was launching anything. So we pivoted slightly and said, you know what, we built a product, we built something that can be used right now. Where are the customers? How can we make people use this thing? And that's why we went towards this freelance marketplace. There's a massive demand of devs. The Imbue team themselves are devs. They can utilize this platform, and people need work, right? People need work, but there's a trust issue when it comes to doing work, and that's why we've this freelance marketplace.
Awesome. And just before you're going to showcase the UI and how it looks, because we are going to do that. I'm curious, what is your plan with regards to staying on Kusama? Are you going to migrate to Polkadot as had other parachain teams, or are you going to stay on Kusama?
So look, we always wanted to go to Polkadot. I think we will be going at least this year. What we want to do is for the community to tell us what you built is good enough. Take it to Polkadot, and we're happy using it. We validate that with the data where the users, people coming to join us. There's no point. It's a massive cost to go to Polkadot, not only from the team, but from the community. And if the community are not using the Kusama version, why push it to Polkadot, right? Why go to Polkadot when it's just for the name, for the image? Like the biggest pain point around liquidity being USDT being available, that's available in Kusama. It's available in StateMine. So I'm not convinced going to Polkadot right now is the blocker for user adoption. I think the blocker for user adoption is really the whys, which I'll go through in this call. But and I think Kusama answers those whys just as well as Polkadot does, right? So for me, it's getting users in, validating the use case, and then going to Polkadot. That's the main reason for Kusama. And I really don't see the rush of saying, let's go to Polkadot when you don't have that why answered.
Let's see what the UI is about. If you could please share your screen.
Go through it. So I'm not normally I go through Figma designs and show people what we want to build, but we've already built this, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. And what's really important is for me, why I got into Web3 was for the whys, right?
Yeah.
What we want to do is we want to give people whys that will come and convince them to use this. You know, we had the phone, we had the smartphone, and the why there was like, hey, you can do so many things on your phone. You've got apps, you've got messaging, you've got app reminders, for example. It just made you a more productive person, or it just made you more interested in finding out things, right? Reading the news. That's why the smartphone blew up.
Sorry to interrupt you there. I think the cat people are gonna love this because like one of the first posts that I saw there was to send a cute photo
that's
of a cat
Jay.
immediately to
Yeah,
Jay
yeah. Yeah,
Chrawnna.
which I think this was fulfilled, but Kat didn't. Jay didn't actually hire the person, but I Birdo actually sent the cat picture to Jay. But yeah, so coming back is really the whys. And so far, personally, this is again a personal opinion. I don't think DeFi has quite answered the why for people who live outside of, let's say, North America or Western Europe, right? There are people who live in Southeast Asia or in Africa or Latin America that get involved in DeFi for sure, but the vast majority don't. And those people in those sections of the world are the most that can benefit from an ecosystem that is open for all and gives them optionality, right? And I think that's just a missed opportunity, and we have yet to categorically answer the whys, right? Because a lot of the things that Web3 brings to let's say the places in the world like Western Europe and North America, the Web2 alternatives are just equally as valid, if not better experience for them. So you're not going to be able to convince them. That's again my personal opinion, right? But people who don't have access to banks, or the services are dramatically worse than in other places in the world, those are people who might be interested in Web3 and the cost savings there, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so what we built here is a way, or one of the ways of answering that why, which is, our end goal, our new tagline is going to be like, make Web3 work for you, right?
Yeah.
And the goal here is like, you are a client, you have you have an item of work, you have a resource that you need, you have something you want done, and you don't have the ability, right? You don't have the ability, you don't have the resources, you don't have the time to actually do this thing. So for example, with Jay, he's like, listen, I want someone to send me a cat picture. But it could be anything. It could be, hey, build me a video, or design a website, or write some content, or build me some code, right? Or build me an app. Anything at all that you might find interesting, or you might have need of, right? So for example, here we've got Sylvian, who was the former CTO of Kylan. He wants to build out an Oracle system. Absolutely, it's needed in the Polkadot ecosystem, but that's very heavily tech focused. Jay wants a cat picture, right? That's not tech focused at all. Anyone can do this. Make a flyer. Yeah, that's a designer. So these are literally, and this is us, right? This is the Imbue team, which will one of the Imbue team, Danny's, is going to. We want someone to do a video, for a minute video of showcasing this new UI, right? So you go in, and you can go into a proposal. You can look at the category that they need, the key skills, right? Scope of project, the level of experience you require, and how long they want, and maybe your budget, right? And I'll go through the flow of creating a new proposal. But here's like a simple description. But the point is, you go in and you automatically know, right? This is what this person wants done, right?
Yeah.
And then you can ask yourself, am I able to do this? Am I not? But what's really cool is they can sign in with a wallet, right? I can show you the sign-in screen in a second, but you can message them, right? And you've got this real-time messaging system. And this person signed in with a wallet. I can just send them a message saying, hey, I can do this work for you, right?
Oh, really nice. So I need to ask you, because I saw on the right-hand side there that this client is currently interviewing 2 people. So
Yeah.
how is that actually?
So this is
How
static.
is it defined? Like where do you see that?
So this is static, right? This on the right hand side, it's static. But the goal is, that the interviewing is the number of applications, right?
Okay, I
That's
see. So if
of
I'm
this.
interested in working in doing this work, I'll submit an application and then I'll automatically be included as part of an
Yeah,
interview, like a possible
yeah,
person that's going to be
exactly
interviewed. It
that.
doesn't necessarily mean he's actually going to reach out to me, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's an application to the brief. Hey, I'm Claudio. I can do videos, and here's what I've done before, and you become an application, and then the
Do you
client
think it
can
would be
just send
better
you a
if we
message.
rewarded maybe to current applicants?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. This is
Yeah.
this is still MVP, right?
Oh,
We got
okay, okay. It's not the final version, so we're
no,
not.
no, no, absolutely not. We have to change a lot of this to be final. And all of this section here, this is static, right? This is the stuff that actually got put in by the user. This stuff, not so much. This is still static, and we're working as we go along. But yeah, you can submit a proposal to it, right? And then you can message them. The messaging works. The submitting the application works. The core flow, what we've done is the core flow. Someone submitting a brief, someone applying or messaging them in real time, and then they get hired, they get paid, right? That's what the core flow that we need. Everything else, everything around the UX, it's improving on that. The core flow is the utility, the why, right?
Okay. I do have a
Um,
question. So when
yeah,
you
yeah, go for
actually
it.
connect to the UI, you've got different choices. So one of them is to create a username with your email
Yeah.
address, and
Let's
the other
let's sign
choice is
up.
to to log in with your existing wallet.
Yeah, so let's
If
sign up.
somebody logs in with their existing wallet, when will they see the message? I'm assuming only when they log in,
Yeah, so
right?
so 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 I can sign in with a wallet, right?
Yeah.
I can sign in with Google. I can sign in with just like a test user, right? And what we're doing here is we want to make this a user experience that is comfortable for someone who is in Web 2, right?
Yeah.
Someone they don't might not know anything about wallets, right? And they might not know anything about, whether or not you want. I don't know what a wallet is, right? I'm comfortable with giving you my email,
Yeah.
but I don't know anything about wallets, right? So I can sign up with my email address. I can sign up with my Google account, but for a Web3 native user, be like, listen, I don't want to give you any of this information. I can give you my wallet, and that's fine, right?
Yeah.
The interaction with the chain, that's when we tell you, by the way, you've signed up. This is now you're about to hire someone, or you want to get hired. You need to sign up with a wallet, right? Because this stuff is secured on chain, right? You need to get a wallet. So we can point them to some documentation, for example, to help them sign up with a wallet, or point them to like Talisman or Subwallet or Nova. They're really good wallets out there, and they have more than enough documentation around how to get onboarded.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I can show you what the flow is when you sign in with a wallet. I don't have a sub wallet installed in this particular profile, but yeah, I can sign in with Polkadot. I can sign in with Talisman. I can sign in with pretty much any wallet, right?
Yeah.
And then you see this dashboard where I'm like, I want someone to build me a website, right? But we also have a messages section, right? And this was the message I sent to that person saying, I can do this brief for you, right? The thing I was showing earlier. And then you've
Yeah.
got the freelancer view, which is like, these are the kind of jobs that I have open for me, which one are accepted, what the states are, and if someone has questions, right? I could go into my Discover Briefs. Oh no, oh yeah. So this is basically someone who has accepted my work, and I can go start the work for them now, right? And when I start the work, that's when the stuff goes on chain, right? When I click start work now, it'll automatically take me on chain to start the work. So this is like the freelancer flow, right? But for the brief view, I could look at my application, and I'll show you that in a second. Like, for example, if I go to my dashboard, this has one application. You see from someone called test one, right?
Yeah.
And they attached like a simple cover letter. Again, this is static, this cover letter, because this is more of a UX thing. but the milestones aren't, right? The milestones aren't, and this is how much they want. They define an amount, right? The budget is $100, but they can define whatever they want, including the currency they want. So a client says, I'm going to pay, I need $100 for this job or this task or 100,000. Then it's up to the applicant to say, look, you set this budget, I want this amount, right? It could be in KSF, could be in Imbue, could be in CAR, it could be in MJX, it could be in Tour, anything, right? It's up to you. It's up to the applicant to define what currency they want to get paid in. Like with the have StateMine, they can do USDT as well, right? And then the client needs to make sure they have the funds ready to deposit when they're about to hire someone.
Then right. Now, my question is, what if the client and the applicant come to an agreement to get paid in like real dollars or fiat, right, in general?
Yeah.
And they do it off outside of the app, like, what's to stop them from doing that?
Nothing. And
so if they do that, then would that not hurt Imbue in a way, because they can get all those deals done outside of Imbue? And
I get what you mean. But the value that Imbue brings it's not just connecting these two people. It's securing their value and ensuring that their funds are paid out when they vote the progress through. Or if in the event that a freelancer says, look, I've done my work, I've done it correctly, it matches the spec, and the client says, well, I'm not paying you, right? This is where disputes come in, right? If you do it off chain, you have to deal with that problem, right? You have to deal with this solution. But with this, it's on chain, it's not only secure, but also the process is clear, right? If you vote it through, if your client's happy with your work, you get the funds. If the client's not happy with their work, you can communicate as to why. And if you feel like the client's not being responsive, you can use not only governance but disputes. And I'm going to talk about the freelancer fellowship in a second, but you can get people to support you, and then you still get your funds back, right? Or you get what you're owed. You do this off chain, you're not really getting any of that protection, right? So
correct, yeah. There's no benefit, there's no support from the team, and so you're taking your own risk ultimately.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like playing without insurance.
That's exactly that. So in some countries that's illegal, so there's not so much. But yeah, really, again, everything we're doing is answering the why, right? We're not trying to say this is the only place or this is the only place. You know, if 10 other projects build a freelancer marketplace, which means we get more people into the ecosystem, that's a great thing. Yeah. Right. We don't want to be the monopoly. We don't want to be the only place the utility spell. The more utility we build into this, the more ways we answer whys, the better for our ecosystem. So
perfect.
Cool. So I have options here, right? I can choose to reject. I can choose to request changes, right? Choose to hire. And I can look at the freelancer, right? I can see what their skill sets are, right? Whether this person has done things. And later on, we're going to build reviews, right? The section is supposed to be for reviews. This is their work history. We want to see how long they took to submit milestones. All of those data points are incredibly useful.
Yeah.
When you an on-chain track record, look at this person.
With regards to the reviews, I have a question, Sam. I mean, will you be ensuring that the reviews are only done by other clients, verified clients, and not some random person creating a wallet?
No. It has to be linked to the job this client has hired you for, right?
Right.
So then, not only do you get the review of the person that this person said you did a good or bad job, but it's linked to a task that you did on chain, so you can see when it was late. Or was it an early, right? I can come in and say, oh, Claudio took forever, right? And I look up and forever is actually a day or 2 days, or been a week on something that's supposed to take 3 months, right? I can then justify whether or not this review is let's say exaggerated or not. And we can then incentivize other people within the community to sort of flag reviews, right? And we can pay them out on Imbue. Say, okay, this person actually flagged this particular review, and overall the consensus is that the flagger was correct. So here's a reward, here's a bounty, here's some things. So we can bring in the tokenomics of the Imbue system to pay out. Overall, it's just a much better model than we previously had. It's just more things to play around with, right?
Interesting. Now I have a question with regards to how do you see yourself comparing to well-known freelancer websites like Freelancer or Upwork, which are really
Upwork or
well-known,
Fiverr.
apart from being on Web3, like what is the actual benefit of using
Yeah.
Imbue versus those?
This is a great question. So I can go off to the briefs, right? And I'll design that, like, this is a design, right? I don't know anything about design, but I can show you. I can say I want M1, milestone 1, I want 100. I just want one milestone, right? This is where the benefit is, right? Something like Fiverr or Upwork, they can charge up to 20%, right? Up to 20% to a job. We charge 5%. And also that 5% goes to the client. I don't pay anything to make an application. I do pay a deposit. I put in a deposit of about 200 Imbue at the moment. That's refundable if I complete the project. If I don't complete the project, half of it I think goes to the treasury, the other half goes to the client, right? So the entry point is low for the client because it's only 5%. The entry point for the freelancer, for the qualified freelancer, right? Which again, qualified freelancer is important because they're vetted individuals. Not everyone can just apply for work. But assuming you're vetted, you apply and you don't deliver, this person still, the client's funds are safe, they can get it back, but also you lose your deposit, right?
Okay, makes sense. And with regards to the client paying, what currency do you accept?
Whatever at the moment, whatever currencies are available on the chain, right?
Okay.
So again, this also touches upon the interoperability, right? This is more than DeFi, right? You might want to get paid in these things, but this is just initially. What about identities? You can
I
talk
think
to.
one of the challenges that I see with this is if they say like KSM, for example, if the client wants to write something like he's looking for an applicant, right, to do a job for them, but then you tell them they need to choose KSM or Imbue, and they may be asking themselves like, what is KSM? How do I get it? So I think it'd be useful to have maybe like a link which would take you to a fiat gateway. And then you can purchase KSM as a client directly without having to spend time going to an exchange,
Absolutely.
creating a wallet, sending that,
100%. 100%. That is one of the biggest pain points and feedback items that we as a team want to implement, right? It's a matter of identifying that particular service provider that will convert fiat to the native currency that's being requested. But again, that is definitely something we want to do. It's about giving a seamless experience, right, to ensure this person can pay for the users. But at the moment, our original goal or our initial goal will be go to all the other different parachains, and we can safely assume anyone who is going to any of the other parachains are comfortable with Web3, right? So they're able to define their currencies. They're able to define how are they going to get the funds into the clients, right? To freelancers. Once that, we can go to other ecosystems, go to maybe Cosmos or other ecosystems are going to be happy to be native to Web3. There's an issue of whether they can get those funds to Polkadot trustlessly, and if they don't, that's still okay.
Yeah, we're going to need some sort of bridge between Cosmos and Polkadot. No, there are teams that are working on that now, so that's going to be useful because once we get those bridges in place, then it's all a matter of having the fiat gateway, doing that connectivity, and then it's seamless for the user. Because ultimately, just think about this, like someone's going to search for freelance work on Google, and you're not going to be ranking at the top. Maybe you're going to be fifth, maybe sixth. But if they're going to be interested in your platform because it's new, because there's less competition, they're more likely to be, considered. Because as you know, with freelance and Upwork, I'm sure you've also done your research, is like you get a ton of applicants. And a lot of these are let down because they'll never actually get a job. So a lot of these people are going to be the target audience for Imbue because they're going to look at other markets. Like, where else can I go where I can maybe get a job? So I think that's going to be really useful. Absolutely.
Absolutely, 100%. The fiat gateway is definitely something we want to do. It's just baby steps, right? Right now, do we always ask the question, have we answered the why? Fine. Yes. How do we answer that why better? Right. It's an iterative process. At the end of each week, I want to say we've answered that why better. And yeah, so the currencies absolutely is a way we can improve in the UX. But before we even answer the currencies, we need to answer the core problem the why.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree with you.
Cool.
So yeah, I think that covered pretty much everything on that. My other question would be regarding the applicant. So
Yeah.
the applicant would see the page that you showed me at the beginning, right? Where we could
Yeah.
see all the different jobs.
This is the application. This is the brief
This is the
application,
okay.
right? So we can choose, how long this is going to take, the currencies, what the fees are clear, right? The I'm not taking this is the fee for the application. I'm not taking that as an applicant. I have to take into consideration when I'm making my application, and yeah,
Yeah,
it goes directly to. What's really important is this is revenue stream. So whatever currency the applicant chooses, that 5% goes to the treasury, right?
yeah,
So we have a revenue model. We've had these discussions before where with these Web3 projects need to be a business. They need to make it clear. If you're getting investors, they're going to ask you, how are you making money? It's very, very clear how Imbue makes money. But at the same time, it's very, very clear where the value is for people in this marketplace, right? Some people want to monetize their skill sets. Others have projects, have goals, have briefs that they want to do, and they want to get done in a timely manner.
absolutely. Cool. Thank you, Sam. I appreciate it. It was a good
Oh,
explanation and a good breakdown of how it will work. Now, I do have a question on regards to when can we expect this to go live?
yeah. So what's really cool, and this is kind of a nugget for you guys, Imbue has unofficially completed its SBP Substrate Builders Program milestone 3. That's the final milestone, and we're done.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. We had a small audit that was done, not full-blown audit, but it was a small audit that was done by Parity's third party hired by Parity for the Substrate Builders Program. We had to clean that up, which we've done as part of our third milestone review. So we think we can get rid of this done into Kusama in the next 2 weeks. But what's really cool is our plan is to dog food it. So essentially, we will be submitting briefs on the Imbue platform for the team themselves, right? For the team to do, because then we validate the use case, validate the flow, identify what pain points our clients feel when they're going through it, whether it's our clients being the people who submit work, whether it's people who are doing the work, freelancers, but also we're planning to put in briefs to do stuff. Like, for example, we're going to put a brief in to do a showcasing of this UI, right? You can see here, right? This was an SBP 4 days ago. Nice. Well, I can message the reviewer saying, I hope we passed, right? I hope we passed. And this goes directly to this person's wallet. Where was I? Yeah, the team themselves are going to post briefs. So we're able to utilize the community. The community will be able to do stuff for Imbue and then get paid in whatever currency they choose to be paid in, right? That's the end goal. I think really what we want to be sure of is when we push this publicly, when we go out and tell people, hey, go submit briefs, or hey, come apply to briefs, we want to be absolutely sure they have a great user experience. So in 2 weeks, maybe we'll go into Kusama. But then in 2 weeks, I'll be asking the questions to the community. Are you comfortable using this? Is this safe for you to use? Do you have any massive pain points? It's okay to be missing a few user experiences. Like you said, the fiat payment gateway. That's okay to be missing. But what's not okay to be missing is like, hey, I loaded this and I can't log in. Right.
That's a big problem.
So it has to be a discussion with the community. It has to, I'm always super transparent with the community. And it's them that will tell us, I'm happy seeing this go live, or I'm not happy seeing this go live. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely. So how long do you think, how long do you plan to test this for with the community? Would you say a couple of weeks or?
Yeah, so a couple of weeks, and then once we're ready, we're happy we'll push this to Kusama. The the question you're asking is, when do we go out and tell people to come use this?
Exactly.
We've got the heroes, we've got the people who are in the core Telegram group. They're aware of this. They're aware when we push something. they will tell us, look, I'm happy with this. And maybe we'll have an AMA in 2 to 3 weeks time where I say, look, we're thinking of doing this. Here's the poll. Are you guys happy with us to review? We need a feedback forum, right? We're building a feedback forum for people to submit their feedback on the UI. And maybe we do go out to other chains and say, use this, and then get their feedback in. So by the time where decoded happens, so at the end of June, that's when we go off and say, hey, we've done this, everyone use it. We go on AAG, we go on different platforms to say, we've built this, come use us, right?
Absolutely.
But really, it has to be a community decision rather than we can say we're happy with it, but the final tick of approval, the user acceptance testing, the yes comes from the community.
Oh, sounds good. Sounds good. Thank you, Sam. I appreciate that. No, that was a good explanation. And I think you've answered all of my questions. So I don't have anything else to add, unless there's anything else that you want to share or add.
No, that's pretty much it. We're very happy about our progress, honestly. To think that we got funding for this 6 weeks ago, it's significant progress, but we still so much to do, right? The fellowship is something I'm extremely excited about, right? We have the Polkadot fellowship where you go in based on your knowledge and your contributions to the Polkadot repo, right? To the core repos, to communities, to Substrate, to Polkadot. What we want to do is build a fellowship or a union based on multidisciplines, right? You, Claudio, you can be like a level 5 when it comes to content direction or content delivery, but you might be a level 1 to design, right? Or a level 3 because in tech, because you worked as a database administrator, you know what good SQL or bad SQL look like, right? You've got that experience. So having a multidiscipline fellowship is really powerful. And to come in and validate other people's use case, right? This freelancer delivered, there's a dispute that's been raised, and you come in and say, actually, you know what, this wasn't delivered according to spec, or maybe even though it was delivered up to spec, this is really a bad delivery, right? If I'm someone who works in content, I produce a video and you're like, they feel there's so much stuff going in the background, the noise is bad, for example, something that me as someone who's not an expert might not recognize, right? Or if I'm a designer, I build a website, and I give it to an engineer and it looks fine. But someone who is a designer can come in and say, look, the header and the footer don't match, right? The text is all over the place. It's not left aligned, right? Things that really never occurred to me, right? So we need experts to come in to validate this use case. And the freelancer fellowship is a completely different problem. And that's part of what we got funded for. So we are on track to deliver on it. But it's a really exciting problem. How do you incentivize people to validate work? How do you ensure that only vetted individuals come in, right? What time they come in? When do you do interviews? These are really difficult problems to solve, but it's really interesting problems to solve, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. No, thank you very much, Sam. I appreciate you coming on and explaining the UI. It was a really good explanation. I hope you, the viewer, also found value in this. And as always, if you want to follow up on the latest updates when testing is going to be announced by Sam and his team, of course, just make sure to check out at Imbue Network on Twitter. I'm going to be posting a link in the description of this video and also in the pinned comment. And feel free to join their Telegram group. They are active there. And also Discord, right? You're also on Discord.
Yeah, we're also on Discord.
For the Discord people, because not everyone's a Telegram person.
No, exactly. Not everyone is a Telegram person.
Give them flexibility.
Yeah, so we're going to be always open for feedback. We're always going to be trying to learn, trying to incrementally change this. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you as well, Sam, and have a lovely day.